I got it. Thank you for it, because I sure forgot. That would have been a waste of day.
Crazy. I see that, man. I got a question. Hey, do you ever question the Holy One? I can admit it,
And don't
but I
forget,
know
the mic
I ain't
gotta be
the
right
only
here.
one. Cause I ain't foolish.
Okay.
Now I know it's a higher power. But when he work, I know he don't get paid by the hour. Cause that be happening by the minute. I know you see it. Like when you chose to be gone when my bro was
good.
What time is it?
12:27. Start at 12:30.
About to start. I'm finna get into it. Yeah. Oh, no, you could keep it, though. Yeah, you can keep it going. Yeah.
Take a deep breath. Let's get it.
I'm excited. I'm nervous.
Ain't nothing to it.
But I don't know why I'm nervous. It's not me answering the questions. I got a lot of questions. I had to take a couple out.
Man, we answering everything, too. We ain't
Yeah.
ready for no questions.
Oh, you not ready for no questions? I say,
Ready
look.
for no questions. We answering everything.
You know, it's a.
Yeah,
It's pretty deep. It's pretty
lengthy
deep.
over there.
All right.
Respect,
Yeah,
though. That just means you did some homework.
Oh, you know I
Respect.
did my homework.
Respect.
You know I did my homework for sure.
Respect, man.
All right, Mr. Ronio.
La Dominic. Let's get that clear first. Roniel is another government name, but
Bruh.
legally, that's my middle name. You know what I'm saying? La Dominic.
You want me to interview or you?
My bad.
Oh,
my
okay.
bad.
I thought it was Talks with Tay.
My bad.
Okay, all right. You funny. All right, let's get right into it. Did you change your name to just Tex?
Did I change my name to just
Yeah,
Tex?
because when I was doing my research and I was going through like some of your Instagram posts and things like that, you referred to yourself as just Tex. And I'm like, did you change your name?
I've always referred to myself as just Tex, or it's kind of like I tell people, I didn't really name myself Tex. Like, if you know, I'm originally from Seattle, Washington, but moving to Texas when I was maybe about 6, 7, you know what I'm saying? Like, my roots are here. So when I finally did go back home to Seattle, like, everybody said I had the accent, you know what I'm saying? The way I walked, the way I talked, the way I dressed, everything. So everywhere that I kind of went in the world, because I traveled a few different places and lived from Cali. My mom was from Cali.
Okay.
I'm originally from Seattle, and I've lived in both. So, like, I went to college in Kansas, and the point I'm getting at is basically everywhere I went, people said I had that Texas swag to me. So even though I was from Seattle or born in Seattle, what stuck with me the most, or, you know what I'm saying, what I took with me the most was
going on
where
to my
roots
question.
are.
You already answered the next one because that's what I was going to ask you. But
They
you
gonna
answered
be
it.
they gonna be in depth, so you know I might answer more than one question at one time.
Yeah, you did. I like that though. That's what's up.
For sure.
And you answered that. So, how did you get Malcolm TEX? Where did that come from then? With the Malcolm in there.
I would like to think of Malcolm TEX as more of like an alias, or it kind of came with a project, you know what I'm saying? And I've done a lot of research on Malcolm X and just the way he lived, and not just his interviews and debates and shit, like, but his actual life and his background. And we got a lot of similarities. So besides just like my music, I like to think I have a message in my music. Besides that part of his life, him having a message, I could just relate to a lot of what it took for him to get to Malcolm X. Because a lot of people don't know the story before Malcolm X.
Before he became Malcolm X, that's right.
I wanted to just do a project basically like giving a tribute or paying homage to him, and speaking on different topics at the time, because the height of where we were in America at the time, like, a lot of crazy shit was going on. So it kind of just went from that to me liking the play on the name, and people liked it too. So
yeah, that's what made me interested in you at first, like, because, you know, I like to think of myself as real woke.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I know some of us in this room have similar, you know, thought process when it comes to that.
we could tap into some of that. We could tap into some of that.
Oh, we are. We're gonna get into that later. Don't go ahead. We're gonna get into all that.
Bet.
So in your documentary Chasing Big Dreams, you mentioned that you wanted people to know. Damn.
Damn.
Yeah, we're going back.
Okay.
We're going back for a minute. We're gonna go back, then we're gonna go. Then we're gonna go forward. We're gonna go back and forward. You did mention though in that documentary that you want people and your supporters to know your history. Why is that?
I feel like that's why I started doing this. Kind of like the things I was going through, and rapping wasn't really. I wasn't looking at it as being basically either a source of income or like a way of life or a profession. I was playing football at the time, and obviously that was what my main goal was at the time. But music was a way of releasing too, just like football. So the more and more I talked about my life, it just made sense that if I'm gonna do this, then you know what I'm saying, give people the real. Because a lot of people, they'll give you some of them, you know what I'm saying, but they won't really give you the stuff that people will judge you for, or might not, you know. I don't know how I really want to put it, but basically, like, certain things that you talk about are too deep, basically, or everybody can't give you certain pieces of themselves without feeling
judged.
I don't want to use the word judge. That's too simple, but I think you get what I'm.
I get what you're saying, because for like as a consumer and like as a person who has like favorites when it comes to music artists, when I see an interview about an artist and I'm learning more about that artist, that make me either like them more, or it's like, damn, I don't fuck with them. Yeah. Like when I see an artist like say like Meek Mill, when I seen like him go deep into interviews, like he did a car interview one day, I forgot who it was with, and they was in a Royce, but he was giving like, he was just telling stuff about him that we didn't already know as fans, and I feel like that made me fuck with him even more. So I think that's a good thing. I
can agree, and I ain't gonna be too long. Just to piggyback off that question, I think that has a lot to do with me too, because a lot of the artists I listen to, I gotta be able to fuck with you as a person. Like before I even, it's some people I listen to just their music, but I might not fuck with their character as much. But mainly, it's the people that I know their story and their history, how they came up and so forth.
I agree with that. So when did you get into hip hop? What made you want to be an artist?
Man, when I got into hip hop, I was just a kid, man. Like when we'll say Hot Boys was, you know what I'm saying, the shit, and Cash Money, and you know what I'm saying. That's when I was introduced to, like, my dad listened to Pac and Biggie, and you know what I'm saying. I had an idea of hip hop, but when I actually could somewhat understand it, and I was like, I want to do that one day, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, so you already knew when you were younger that you wanted to do it. It's nothing that just...
It's in my family. I didn't want to go into this too early,
Let's get into it.
My great-grandfather was Blind Willie Johnson. I don't really want to speak too much on him because that's a whole nother interview in itself.
Okay, so we're going to do Talks with Tay Part 2 with Tex.
That part. Okay. But to kind of summarize it, what was it, the Golden Voyage or whatever, where we sent basically when we sent whatever supposedly to the moon or into space or whatever, like his music was a part of that. You know, you got Shakespeare, you got the paintings and everything basically that makes America America. Yeah. This is what we wanted. If there was another intelligent life form out there all these years ago, we sent this. If they came in contact with this voyage or whatever it was that sent, I can't remember exactly, then this is what they wanted, basically the other life form to know us for, or this is what we're special for. This is the smartest things that we were able to put together as human beings type shit. So do y'all research on Blind Willie Johnson.
I'm about to say, we're going to have to talk about this. I'm highly interested in that. Okay.
He's from the same area too, like, so yeah, just look Blind Willie Johnson up. I promise you'll be very surprised what you find, man, as far as black history, not just him being a famous blind guitarist, like a lot of history in there. Okay,
that's what's up. So you were nominated for Lyricist of the Year the last few years for Waco Awards.
3 to be exact.
That's why I said few.
Yeah.
That Waco Awards, right?
Yeah.
It is. So I know you were nominated, and I think that's huge. I think that's a big deal to be recognized for what you're doing. But how do you feel about not winning?
I just use it as motivation. Like, me and the bros, we always have conversations afterwards, you know, when we've been nominated for these awards. Cause Ike, he been nominated for a few awards too. Shout out to my bro Ike. And he ain't won none either. But I'll just say the main people that folks look up to in Waco, or that they call the GOATs and this, that, and the third, they look at us like that. Okay. So you know what I'm saying? When I just look at it like a thing of that's Waco. We not from Waco. You know what I'm saying? They mainly give these awards to Waco artists.
You think it's kind of like a political thing?
It ain't never been an artist outside of Waco, to my attention, that's won an award. So really? I'm not going to say that because I respect a lot of the artists that win awards. But, you know.
Yeah, I feel it.
To each his own, you know. I'll leave that to the people.
You won't say it, but I will. It's the politics of things. It's always the politics.
Because if we going by votes and fans and different things of that nature, like my fan base or my support don't just go from Waco or Central Texas. It's like I've been able to calculate kind of like on a scale of what my people are doing when it comes to voting. And I'm going to just say it's a specific year I know for a fact I should have won. Like,
because I voted.
Even the person that won said I should have won that year. So
damn, who won? What's T?
It was my nigga T-Mo.
Oh, okay.
And the following year, they named the award after him, so he couldn't be in the award, which is, again, a whole nother story. But, yeah, it's a lot of politics in it.
It is. That's what it comes
But it's a lot of talent in Waco, too, though. So don't let that overshadow, you know what I'm saying, the people that actually are winning awards, because I fuck with a lot of them, and they dope.
Okay, that's what's up. So I did see, now I don't know, when I was on your Instagram, I don't know if this was in 2018 or you just posted it in 2018, but the video when the crowd was going like super crazy, that was in 2018? That was at a show you had?
No, that was actually, I posted it in 2018 because that's when I like found it maybe in some old clips, but that was my first show that I ever did.
But now, what year was that? Because the crowd was, if y'all don't know, when y'all go to his Instagram, everything will be like linked in the bio below. But everybody, they was going crazy on the video. I'm like, okay, look at you.
Don't make me lie.
Was it like after 2013 or?
It was like 2013, 2014-ish. Because it was my very first show. I had never did a show. And we were opening for a West Coast legend. You know what I'm saying? Andre Nicotina. And when we got there, you know, the people was at the door, the line was around the corner, you know. They didn't know who we was from nothing. Like, so we ain't got no music. We ain't got no music out.
Hold on, wait a minute.
We ain't got no music out, nothing. So you were
opening up for a West Coast artist. So these were his fans.
Facts.
I thought these were your fans. And they was going crazy like that?
No, ma'am.
That's wild. That's big.
We coming in, like, from the moment we coming in, they saying, like, y'all look like stars. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who y'all is, but y'all look the part. Like, we gonna turn up with y'all. Y'all ain't got nothing to worry about. So that kind of gave us the motivation to like, okay, they fucking with us. Then we had a dressing room and shit. Like, again, this is my first show. So yeah, like I kind of took the lead and just, you know, did what I was used to seeing from the artists that I watched, from Crit to Cole to Kendrick. You know, I wasn't as good as them, you feel me, as my first time being on stage, but as you can see, I was able to capture the crowd and make a moment.
Wordplay is crazy though.
I appreciate
matter of fact,
that.
Speaking of, we right on time.
I appreciate that.
So Real Shit Part 3, I'm not even gonna cap. That shit brought me to tears when I was listening to it, and I was very sober. Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah, that's a deep one.
And also, the song dedicated to your sister, who passed last year, right?
Been a while.
So, Been a While was dedicated to your sister who passed last year.
And my grandmother, like, the complete song was dedicated to my sister, but I dedicated a verse to my grandmother as well, who's buried right on side of my sister, and it just made sense.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna get into that later though.
For sure.
And another thing, speaking of Real Shit Part 3 in that one, all your music that I've heard sounds so authentic. And it sounds believable. You know, that's very hard.
It is.
In today's culture.
It's hard when you're not speaking your life, or when you're not.
But most people don't
telling
know.
The truth.
We're not going to get into all that.
Yeah.
But how do you stay afloat and like stay true to yourself and your artistry with how social media is today? Because you could easily just go trendy in TikTok, which shout out to you if you do that. But when it comes to just real music and things like that, like you could easily do something trendy. Like, why not do that and go viral? You know, instead of like, how do you stick to just being true to you and your music and what you feel? Because nobody sounds like you.
No, that's a great question. And just to be honest, as an artist, I have tried I wouldn't say like to be like another artist, but I've tried certain little, we'll say like to make a hit. Instead of just going in there, I'm going to write my life or make a song that resembles me. I'm going to go in here and try to make a song that sounds good for radio or that sounds, you know, viral for TikTok or a dancing song or whatever. Yeah. I've done it, but even when I've done those things, I've still tried to be me. If I make a dance song, it's going to be based off of experience where I've been in a dance atmosphere, or if I've been to the islands or something, or whatever the case may be that I'm rapping about, I try to keep it within the frame of what I know, what I've seen, what I've been around. So to keep from doing that, or like completely basically selling out, or just doing something for views or the fame, you don't want to blow up for the wrong reasons, or you don't want to blow up for something that's not you, because if you can't do it again or you can't continue doing it, it's easier to be yourself.
Or you're going to have to keep doing it again, because that's all they're going to want for you.
The fans that come for that hit, they want another hit. Facts. The fans that's here because they know you from the beginning, they fucking with you because they know your story. Yeah. So whatever you drop, like I told Paul in his interview, like once you build that fan base to where they know you and your story and they fuck with you, the music is just a plus. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Because it's artists that I'm like, dang, I fuck with them just because like their character, obviously not because I know them personally, but because of like what you see in interviews and how they move and things like that. But okay, so moving on. I feature your YouTube channel, as you know. Yeah, I appreciate as you see. I appreciate the comments yesterday. And stuff too. Yeah. Okay, so I did notice that visually you were pretty consistent. And then it got to a point where you had a 2-3 year gap from you posting. So what happened with that? Like, what were you doing? Were you taking a break from music? Were you going through something?
It was a number of things, honestly. I'm always going through shit. We always. Everybody is people, you know what I'm saying? So it just comes down to whether you gonna overcome them things that you going through and continue to do the things that you got planned or set out to do, or, you know, fold. But for your question, it was just a number of things from that to my best friend, Jazz, was my videographer. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Before Murph got a camera, before any of us got a camera, Jazz was recording all our videos. All the videos you see from Real Shit Part 3 to everything with Murph in it, with Ike in it. Like,
oh, I didn't realize that. Okay,
she was doing. She went to school for video production.
Because that's who did that's who was in your documentary, right?
Facts.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Facts. So we kind of grew up together from high school to college. She was right down the street, like 2 hours away. So we was getting footage even in college. You know what I'm saying? I was shooting little videos here and there, but football was the focus. Yeah. But since she went to school for graphics designs, I said video production, graphics design. When she got through, that's kind of like something that's hard to get a job with. Yeah. So like I was one of the main people that, you know, encouraged her like she encouraged me with what I was doing. Yeah. So I was like her first client or, you know, person that I ain't gonna say believed in her, because she had other people that believed in her too.
That's who you are though, because even with this, you like how we got to chop it up, and we'll talk about that later if we have time. But same thing, like you being the first and just believing in somebody to do.
I'm honored too though. Like I'm honored to be here. Like the fact you even set this up and shit, like
alignment, because we was trying to do this since November.
Nah, for sure.
Timing is everything. Okay, so speaking of being woke, in your song America, bars, I fuck with it. Thank you. Know, I know you're pretty woke, you're pretty aware. You really spit a lot of knowledge on that. How long have you been like, I know a lot of people don't like the word woke, but I'm gonna use it because that's even a deeper meaning that I can't get into right now, because that's not really what Talks with Tay is about right now.
Yeah.
But we're going to use woke because that's from our people and that's what we're supposed to do.
That's
How long
cool.
do you feel like you've been woke?
Man, when we go back to my grandma being one of the first blacks to go to an all-white school in Moreland at Booker T. Washington. You know the old Booker T. Washington, Murr. Sam Faye was one of the first blacks that went there. You know what I'm saying? When all whites was there. She picked cotton, you know what I'm saying? She was old enough to, yeah. So, I mean, like, my family passed a lot of, like, history and knowledge down to me from even my dad. Like I say, he had one of the highest IQs in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, where he's from. So my mom and my dad are very smart. So I just kind of leave it there. Like they've always, the same way I do with my younger brother and sister, like they've always tried to make sure I was prepared, like mentally. Yeah. They didn't want me to, like the most parents be like, that child don't need to know about this, that, or the third. Like they'll rather educate me on that, you know what I'm saying, when I was a kid, than say I don't need to know about it. And in a lot of those instances, like I could say it helped in the long run instead of me going into something blind or wanting to try it because this, that, and the third. I can remember my dad giving me beer at which I probably shouldn't be saying this, but giving me beer at maybe like 8 or 7 or something like that, like a sip of it, and because I wanted it, you know what I'm saying? I thought I wanted it, and it was so nasty that I still hate beer to this day.
No,
like
that's good parenting.
I won't drink it. Like,
see, that's good parenting. Though.
They gotta force me to drink a beer. Like,
but see, that shaped you for the man you became. Because you know, I love my parents, but I was very sheltered. Yeah. I do wish I wouldn't have went into things blind, and I wish I would have known more instead of having to, figure it out on my own. But
it's a give or take thing.
Because pros and cons.
For some things you want to be sheltered, and for other things it's best that you know about it.
I'm a mom now. I get why. So staying on that topic, you ready? I need you to be honest.
I'm ready.
100%.
I'm ready.
How do you feel about rappers speaking on killing each other when we could be using that same energy to fight our real oppressor?
It's not even just speaking about killing each other. I'm gonna answer that first, and then I'm gonna go into what I want to say.
Okay.
I feel about that the same way I feel about how we so quick to kill each other, but we won't use that same energy towards either the cops or, you know what I'm saying? If you see a cop kill your brother innocently right now, the average black person gonna cry about it or go protest or whatever. But if the ops spin a block on your brother, you know what I'm saying, and kill him, you gonna be ready to shoot back or go kill him the next day.
It's up from there.
So yeah, of course I got the same mentality or feeling about that, but then I can't be hypocritical and act as if there hasn't been situations in my life where I've either wanted to take a person's life or felt that way. You know what I'm saying?
I think we've all felt that way.
So there's been certain raps where I might have talked about black on black violence or been included in that black on black violence, but I don't glorify it. Yeah. So that don't make it no better either, you know what I'm saying? Because as a kid, they don't know who's glorifying it and who's not. They just see violence or they hear violence. And that type of frequency and vibration just brings you down in a total scale of things. So overall, we just need to be better. Yeah. And if you are speaking about some shit like that, then it need to really be your life. Because a lot of these people, like you said, rapping shit that they not doing. Like Future will tell you he talk about all them drugs, but he's not doing all of those drugs. But it's kids out here popping all this shit or doing all these things because they think you doing it, Future. So if you gonna tell them, you know what I'm saying, you not doing it, y'all gotta be not dumb enough to follow people too, you know what I'm saying, down a black hole and shit to destruction. So I ain't gonna blame it all on Future or these rappers either, because y'all as adults gotta be accountable too. We talking about the kids. Be a better influence for these kids. Yeah,
that's for sure. I agree with that. So how do you feel about clout chasing? Because the reason I say that, I personally feel like there's a thin line between clout chasing and then kind of like faking it till you making it, doing what you got to do to get on. Because at the end of the day, let's be real, when it comes to being, or I'm not gonna say an artist, just a rapper, like straight out rapper.
Yeah.
If people don't see, and I feel like you could agree, Murph, because if they don't see you with your chains, with your jewelry, they think you not that, this or that. You know what I'm saying? So, but also, like, so how do you feel about clout chasing?
I'm glad you broke it down.
You think it's bad? Like, how do you feel about it?
I'm glad you broke it down because I was gonna ask you what's your definition of clout chasing, but now that I get where you at with it, I kind of feel the same. Like there's I feel like as every artist, all the good artists, you know what I'm saying, they find a way to pretty much like stress the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like even if you got a big imagination and you're trying to fit still your life, your real life into things, just learn how to stress the truth, you know? Yeah. Tell 95% of the truth and 5% of imagination.
But why though?
Because people are infatuated with a certain type of lifestyle or a certain, like you say, the chains, the person that done been to jail, the person that will kill somebody. Like it's just certain lengths, I guess, that people like want to know of an artist. But then if you're good enough too, like none of that shit matters either. That's the flip side of this shit. Like you could be a person that don't got the swag, that don't look good, that don't got sex appeal and all this shit. You just rap good and people will still love you. There's plenty of those type of people, but it's harder.
Yeah.
It's a big pool of rappers and artists now. So like I feel like it's just oversaturated with a lot of people and it's easy to get drowned in this shit.
It is. I agree with you.
But still be yourself. Don't sell it.
Well, playing hide and seek with my soul and I'm the seeker. It's like they trying to blind me, cause I've been searching for a role model. And I've been looking all this time, I guess I was trying to find me. Cause when I feel my lowest, I question if God really exists. Then I think about the time the bullets